What's up, guys? We're back with another episode of British Guy Reacts, the place where we give honest reactions, not overreactions. Today, we're back with a sports reaction, and we're doing the Clueless European's Guide to the NFL. This is much needed for me because I've been watching some NFL videos, biggest hits, the mic'd up moments, but I don't really know what's going on in the sport, so I'm here to learn a little today. Thanks for the recommendation in the comments. Keep the recommendations coming. Let me know what you want me to watch down below. Okay, let's get straight into this video.
Hello there, non-American. So you might
Hello?
have heard of this NFL thing over here in America. And by that, I mean, you probably turn on the Super Bowl every year and have no clue what's going on. And I mean, why should you? Why should you give a shit about a sport we call football, in which we, admittedly, barely ever put foot to ball? And I mean, you got us there. It's not named well. But aren't you a little bit curious why the NFL is the most popular, the most watched sports league in America? Why does this stupidly named sport completely dwarf the NBA, baseball, hockey? It's not even close.
Oh, I didn't realize
I think the
it
real
wasn't
reason why
close.
the NFL has become so popular in America is because it almost is custom made for TV. In fact, this might be sacrilege to say, but I think if people, or sports fans, are really honest with themselves, 9 times out of 10, watching the game on TV, way better than being in the stands. Like,
Really?
yeah, you don't get the atmosphere and all that stuff, but hey, you're probably watching this from a country away, so you don't even care. But the NFL has got this viewing experience down to a freaking T. They got all the angles, slow-mo, players mic'd up so you can hear what they say, and they catch everything. And simply, you get to see things and meet characters that you cannot see in any other sport.
Second down, 20, 5:03 to go. Someone has run on the field. Some guy with a brawl. And now he's not being chased. He's running down the middle, the 40. Arms in the air in a victory salute. He's pulling down his pants. Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants. He's being chased to the 30. He breaks a tackle from a security guard. The 20, down the middle, the 10, the 5. He slides at the 1, and they converge on him at the goal line. Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
Riddle me this. In what other multi-billion-dollar sports league in the world would you meet a guy like Michael Crabtree? Now, what you need to know about Michael Crabtree is he is the type of guy to wear a $10,000 chain in the middle of a professional game. And the man guarding him is Aqib Talib. And the important thing you need to know about Aqib Talib, that he is the type of guy to snatch a man's chain in the middle of a professional match. But you don't know Michael Crabtree. He would wear yet another chain, but this time, Crabtree had a plan. Instead of leaving his chain exposed, he would tape it down underneath his pads. Unfortunately for him, this did not deter Aqib Talib, and upon their next meeting, snatched the chain once again. Aqib Talib 2, Michael Crabtree 0.
You can't wear any jewelry playing football, soccer for you guys in England.
What other
It's not
sport
allowed.
would you meet another character like Marshawn Lynch? A man whose run literally caused a recorded earthquake. And the punctuation at the end of the run, as you can see, as Marshawn is crossing the end zone, he jumps up in the air and grabs his family jewels. If N'Golo Kante is the most lovable man in all of sports, Marshawn Lynch might be the realest. What you need to know about Mr. Lynch is he's from Oakland. And for you overseas people, Oakland don't fucking play. It's fucking rough. When he was growing up there, it was one of the most dangerous places in America. And Lynch is loyal to the place till he dies. How loyal is this man to Oakland? He ran onto the field to fight his own teammates and then got ejected from the game in order to protect a dude on the other team because that was his homeboy from Oakland. And then after he got ejected, he just took the train back home to Oakland with the fans. This man is so Oakland that in the final home game ever to be played in Oakland Stadium, he was honored as the last person ever to light the ceremonial torch, remembering the late great owner of the Oakland Raiders, Al Davis.
He loves his hometown.
And then a little bit later,
Can't hate for that.
proceeded to attempt to light a blunt from said memorial torch. I have no doubts that Al Davis would have wanted it any other way. God bless Marshawn Lynch. Have I sold you on the circus yet? This is where only the freakiest of the freaks come out to. Where else are you going to see a 6'4", 234-pound monster who can legitimately keep up with Olympic caliber sprinters? This genetic Adonis is named DK Metcalf. For fans of the Premier League, imagine a dude bigger than Lukaku who's faster than Mbappe. Now put him on offense.
We have him. He's called Erling Haaland, and he plays for my team's rival, Manchester City. It's painful to see, but he's a brilliant player.
And watch him absolutely toy with anyone who has to guard him.
Yeah,
or
that's
mark
Haaland.
him, as you guys say over there. Oh yeah, you see this poor guy who's just like bouncing off him, just some scrub, right? No, that's just reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore. Oh, you were the Virgil van Dijk of last year? Here, guard Donkey Kong. Good luck. It really is just kaiju battling kaiju in this league. Mutants trying to murder, destroy, and humiliate each other on a weekly basis. It's a league where only the top 0.1% of athletes can survive. And amidst all the CTE being dished out, all the ACLs being snapped, there are certain special players who can create moments of grace
Odell
and
Beckham.
beauty. It's this insanity.
We've almost hit 500 subscribers already, but 89% of you still aren't subscribed. If you are enjoying the videos, just click the subscribe button down below.
Any play can be these players' last. It's sad but true, and it doesn't get much more high stakes than when any hit could take years off of your life. The dedication, the skill, the talent, frankly, the insanity needed to survive, let alone thrive in the NFL, seems superhuman at times. Yeah, there's so much spicy stuff to be had here. But I also understand, as someone probably completely new to the NFL, that there's some pretty big barriers to entry here. Like one, you're probably used to like 20 team leagues. How the f do you choose a team from 32? And what the f
This is what I'm saying. I need you guys' help on choosing a team.
do all these lines mean? And what the hell is a 2nd and 8? Well, have no fear, my friend, for this is my favorite sports league in the world. And I'm going to break it down to you in relatable terms for y'all. Give you a lowdown on which teams you might want to follow this season. And by the end of this video, hopefully you'll be primed and ready to welcome in American football into your life. Welcome to a clueless non-American's guide
Big
to
old
the
Ricky
NFL.
Gervais.
So disclaimer, I'm mostly going to be talking to the Brits here because they're my main demo outside of America. But I think anyone who's familiar with the Premier League will get this Spark Notes guide of the most popular sport in America. But alright, let's rip the band-aid off. Let's get it over with. Yes, they're both named football. And yes, you're right. It's dumb that we call it football, okay? I admit it. We rarely use our feet in the game. But back when the sport was becoming popular in America, feet were actually a more integral part of the sport. And we didn't know it was going to become a freaking multi-billion-dollar industry, okay? We didn't know. And for whatever reason, your football never got popular here. And then when it did, we needed to call it something different. So our solution was we took a word that you guys came up with, the English came up with, soccer, and now you guys give us a whole bunch of shit about it. But if the NFL ever gets popular in your country, well, you're gonna have the same issue that we do, aren't you? So I thought,
No, we just call it American football. There you go.
since you guys, the
Both.
British, gave us the word soccer, it's only apt that us Americans give you the alternative word for American football. And I've thought a lot about this, but I think you guys should call American football soccer too. I'm sure it'll cause no issues at all. You're welcome. But for this video, to avoid confusion, I'm just going to refer to it as American football or NFL. Alright, so let's get down to the basics real quick. How the fuck does this sport work? Like you probably know, score a touchdown, kick a field goal, good. But what the fuck is all this other shit in between? Now admittedly, the rules of football are kind of complicated. There are rules and procedures that honestly I still don't understand to this day. And I've been watching it since I was a toddler. But the NFL, they know their target demo are Americans. Americans who usually can't remember how to fill out their Chipotle order, let alone grasp a rule book this thick. So what do? They dumbed it down for us on TV. And you, as a complete noob, are a beneficiary of this. Because you don't gotta get hung up on all the lines and all the numbers on the field. Starting out, this is the key. All you need to know is when your team is on offense, can someone from your team get the ball to that imaginary yellow line? Be it running it or passing it, did you get close or pass to the yellow line? Then it's good. Now, when your team is on defense, did someone on your team keep the ball from getting to that yellow line? Then it's good. Now, each team gets 4 attempts to get the ball to the yellow line. And that's what the down and distance means. 2nd and 8 means it's their second attempt, and they need to get 8 yards to get to that yellow line. And if they can get beyond that yellow line, then they get a new set of 4 attempts. And they do this usually chunking their way down the field, hopefully scoring a touchdown at the end, or at least getting enraged to kick a field goal. And that's kind of all you really need to know to start out watching football. And yes, there are a bunch of other rules, but here's the other thing that you need to know about watching football is that after every play, you're going to see that same play in slow motion 3 times over from 3 different angles while 2 announcers break down in detail even the smallest nuances of everything that you have just seen. Their explanation.
That's the biggest thing I've noticed when I've tried to watch American sports. It just seems so chopped up and clunky and just slow. But that's just because I'm used to watching Premier League football, European football, where it's just 45 minutes of solid play. Unless somebody gets injured, There's no stoppages. They just do the replays in between the small moments where the ball goes out. The NBA was the worst when I tried to get into that. All the timeouts, and it's just slow. It just seemed really slow.
Of what happened on the last play will last longer than the play itself. So don't worry about learning the rules and the nuances. It will be shoveled down your throat. Remember, this is a sport made for Americans. They have to dumb it down and slow it down in order for us to actually understand it. And if we can eventually get it, and we're as dumb as you guys claim we are, then you guys should pick it up instantly. Right? And in fact, just last year, they started a program with Nickelodeon in which their broadcast team will actually explain the basic rules and concepts in real time in simple enough terms that American children can understand. When they kick a field goal on Nickelodeon, the field goal becomes a SpongeBob face. So if you can somehow get this broadcast and you still don't understand this, you are probably dumber than a 5-year-old American. God help you. Alright, so you got the basic understanding. Can someone get to the yellow line? But who the fuck should I root for? And the thing is, all 32 teams are kinda dope. Like, each one has a distinctive history, a backstory to the town that they represent. And unlike in soccer leagues, Americans have invented something never before seen in sports leagues in Europe. Parity. As in, we try to actually even out our sports teams. So the NFL has installed systems that theoretically should allow for the shittier teams to actually improve, while a hard salary cap makes it so that all the powerful teams cannot keep all of their best players. Yes, there aren't any Real Madrids or Manchester Cities in the NFL. There are no oil money oligarchs coming in and just buying up and hoarding all the best players on just a couple of teams. So there is actually a chance that any team you pick from these 32 will occasionally be good in your lifetime. I know this might be foreign to anyone who supports Nottingham Forest, but yeah, it's true. But word to the wise, don't root for the Jets, Lions, or Browns. Yeah, remember how I said that the NFL has all these measures to help out the bad teams? They do this by having a draft in which the teams who had the worst records from the season prior get the first pick at all the best towns.
I know about the draft.
Imagine this. Instead of Norwich City being relegated, instead they were rewarded with signing Mbappe on a cheap contract for the next 4 years. That's insane.
But couldn't you just be purposely bad one year? If you were already going to do badly, you could just purposely lose every game. If you knew there was like a youngster, like, I don't really know many footballers, but say like the next LeBron James of American football was about to come through, you could just purposely be bad to get him. Or like Tom Brady. There's a new Tom Brady.
Right? Like, that is an insane catch-up mechanic if you've ever heard of it. Could you imagine how the Premier League would look if this was a structure? Now, also imagine, despite year after year, season after season, of being able to add the Haalands and Jadon Sanchos of the world, Norwich still came bottom of the league season after season. You would say, statistically, that's impossible. But be it through injuries, incompetent ownership, or just plain bad luck, the Jets, the Browns, and the Lions have been awful for pretty much as long as I can remember.
You are a factory of sadness!
But to my point about parity, this season, the Browns seem too loaded with talent to fail, and the Jets might not be a complete embarrassment this year. So I guess what I'm saying is you should probably just avoid Detroit. Sorry, MMG. Okay, well, got anyone else out of the 32 I should root for? Well, actually, yes. I have a very easy answer for the majority of you Brits watching this. And that is, you guys should root for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And to most of the Brits watching this, you probably actually recognize this team name. And that's because they're the one team that always plays a home game in London every year. And if you look this up, they played at least one game in London every year, dating back to 2012. And oh, last year, they played two. And why do you think they play in London every year? Why are they the only NFL team that plays in London year after year? Now, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Shahid Khan, has said multiple times that he is fully committed to keeping the team in Jacksonville. But here's the thing. Jacksonville is one of the least popular, the least attended franchises in the NFL. They, in fact, get more attendance from their home games in London than Florida. And on top of that, their owner is also the owner of Fulham Football Club and just tried to buy Wembley Stadium in 2018. Actions speak louder than words, bro, and there's just too much smoke here to ignore. Add on to this the fact that the NFL would like nothing more to expand into European markets. Fuck, I'm doing their job for them, aren't I? NFL, call me. But long story short, Jaguars are moving. Why does this kid who looks like sunshine from
What was that break in the video?
Call me. But long story short, Jaguars Our movie does this kid who looks like Sunshine from Remember the Titans, has every single NFL scout wetting their pants. Well, basically, when this kid was fresh out of high school, he had an undefeated college football season, in which in the national championship, he dissected the college football team equivalent of a prime Real Madrid squad. He didn't just beat them, he destroyed them as a baby. All this without batting an eye. Nothing ever phases him. He can make every throw. He's even got a bit of mobility. He is as close to a perfect quarterback prospect as you can get. Remember when Neymar first transferred over to Barcelona? That is the level of hype around this guy. And in fact, this year's draft was special because it had 5 rookie quarterbacks that have like an Mbappe or Haaland level potential to them. And all 5 of them have looked very, very promising this preseason. So if old Sunshine and the Jags aren't your flavor, then maybe one of these other 5 prodigies could be a fun follow this season. I'll probably make a follow-up video profiling them, but that is a video for another day. But as for the Jaguars as a team as a whole, Brits, I'm gonna keep real with you. You know, while this kid might be a Tom Brady in the making, I'm not so sure if your owner really values football over making headlines. Like, he hired a legendary college coach, but this coach has 0 NFL experience. And for their offseason promo, they got pro wrestlers to come into the coaching office to have a Royal Rumble. Yes, this is a professional American sports league. And yes, maybe I'll give him a little bit of a pass because Shahid Khan also owns AEW. It is cross promotion. And to all you international wrestling fans, I guess you found your team. Yeah. But in football terms, really, they're probably a few years away from being good, which is perfect for you, because by the time they actually move over there, they might actually have a good coach. And I do feel if you guys get a team in London, you're going to have a ginormous advantage with all the jet lag. You combo that with having football Jesus as your quarterback, and you'll probably have a decent shot.
The players don't have to stay there forever though, right? You do like the trade system. You can swap assets between clubs.
At beating almost any team in the league when they come. But if the Jaguars aren't your flavor, then to everyone else, my next bit of advice might sound a little bit crazy to you, but hear me out, okay? Just hear me out till the end. Even if you are completely new to the NFL, I think you should play fantasy NFL football this season. I know, it's kind of stupid to say. Like, how the F do I play a fantasy sports league where I literally don't know any of the players? But that is kind of exactly why I think even noobs should play fantasy. Because simply, you don't need to know anything about the NFL to play American fantasy football. Because it is literally the easiest fantasy sport to play on the planet. Remember, it's designed for Americans. So they basically made it idiot-proof. Like, you as a complete noob, you know nothing about it, right? You literally don't even need to show up to the draft. And Yahoo or ESPN will auto-draft you probably a decent to good team. And here's the big secret to American fantasy football that diehards will never admit. American fantasy football is mostly just luck. Like, I've been playing fantasy football for 15 years. I'm a lifelong NFL fan. I've won my fair share of leagues, and I played in a league last year where a complete noob came in and drafted players based around the alphabet. No clue about the NFL. And he crushed me last season. And the reason how something like this could actually happen is because the other thing you need to understand about the NFL is that there's more change, more turnover from season to season than probably any other major sport in the world. Sure, some teams and players stay good, but really, they're more the exception. With the amount of injuries and all the rules to establish parity in the league, it's hard for the same teams and players to stay amazing year in and year out. Far more likely, teams and players usually go up and down in the NFL like crypto. So even you, a complete noob with an auto-drafted team, probably has a decent chance of winning it all. So my best advice to you as complete noob to the NFL is find a bunch of other complete noobs. Do it in the comment section down below. Hell, I will make a couple leagues where you can play
I don't have that many friends, so.
Against me. First come, first serve. It'll be pinned to the top. But for everyone else who I can't play with, try to find some homies. Make leagues from 6 to
not ones that would want to do a
and even
NFL
if you're watching this
fantasy
after the season starts,
we do
even if it's like 3 to 4 weeks into the season, if they allow you to still draft, bro. And this is the crucial thing. Everyone you're in the league with who is of legal age, throw in a tenner. And whoever wins the whole thing, they win the pot. Why to do this? Well, check out my last video on why we love sports. And basically, a cheat code to learn to love a sport, bet money on it.
You have to. 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 You have to take that sport. You have to.
I know. Who would have known? But make it an amount so that, you know, it's not going to hurt you if you lose, but you definitely want to win. But the bigger reason why I'm pitching fantasy football to a noob like you is because I think it eliminates the two biggest hurdles for non-Americans to get into the NFL. And that's one, the fucking unholy, unrelenting barrage of commercials, and two, understanding the complicated rules of the game. You remember all the like second and 8 and turnover and downs and rules in general? With fantasy, you don't gotta worry about any of that. Because Yahoo or ESPN or whatever platform you play on is going to take all the yardage, all the points, all the touchdowns. They'll equate it out to an easy to read point total that will quantitatively tell you Derrick Henry is...
I always found the best way to learn a new sport was to play the game. That's how I learned more about basketball, just by playing the game. Doing the, like the My Career, there's different positions. That helps.
25 points better than AJ Dillon. It will teach you who is good and who is trash really quickly. The commercials. They are nonstop and relentless. Like,
yeah, I can't deal with that.
I get it. Y'all are spoiled, all right, with your 45-minute haul.
And when we watch the NFL in England, our TV provider cannot show your American advert, so we just get this screen that just says program will resume shortly, and we get nothing. We just get this black screen that says that, and it's so boring. It happens all the time. Like 2 minutes, your TV just goes black. It's so bad. They need to put something on in place of that.
Loves your 90 minutes with only one break. It's just the best.
Beautiful
right?
game. It is the best.
Well, guess what? We saw your 45 minutes of uninterrupted football. And we're like, well, that's cute, but how about
7 hours of commercial-free football?
Welcome to NFL RedZone, the ultimate sports viewing experience for the ADHD generation. Every Sunday, now for 18 Sundays in a row, you get 7 hours, no commercials, of just whatever the best play is going on at that moment in real time. Now,
That's
this
great,
is by itself already a pretty dope viewing experience. And for everyone who hates commercials, just watch RedZone. But imagine combining this viewing experience with having polymerization card, and you got the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon of sports watching experiences. Because every Sunday when I see the dude on my fantasy team stiff arm another adult man into the shadow realm on his way to an 80-yard touchdown, all while I'm screaming at my league mate over Discord to suck my dick. And as I see the fantasy points pile up on my stat tracker, and I giggle, I laugh at my opponent's destruction. All is right with the world. All is right. And I cannot tell you how much of a welcome to Oasis it's been every single Sunday, especially after this past hellscape of a year. But here's the drawback. It might be too addictive. Like, I am legit just crackhead zoned out for 7 hours. I forget to go to the bathroom. I forget to eat. My girlfriend leaves me. But for those 7.5 hours, I am free. I am commercial free. And by you being a complete noob, by having zero loyalties to any of these teams, playing fantasy football will naturally and organically.
I don't think I got time to watch all of that though, because I'm already a big English football fan and F1 fan. That takes up a lot of my weekend already. My girlfriend would definitely leave me if I start spending 7 hours watching American football.
Will make you have a connection with certain players. But the key is you gotta have stakes to the league. And I know some of you guys are legally too young to bet. Wink. So if you can't do that, then you have to do the next best thing. You have to put someone in the league you personally hate. You know that dude. You know that one dude, Alex. I cannot lose to Alex. You gotta put that motherfucker in your league, man. And since y'all love relegation so damn much, you should also make it whoever comes in last place in the league, they have to do some type of humiliating forfeit. But you know, something fun. Like this dude came in last place and his league made him completely recreate the famous Sia video.
No way.
And god damn it, if he isn't nailing it.
Hey, killed it.
Get it, big boy. Get it good. And if I'm honest with my sports fan self, the RedZone channel, Fantasy Football Wombo Combo, it's better. It's more enjoyable than actually watching even my beloved 49ers play. Yeah, call me a bad sports fan all you want, okay? But all I know is how I feel. And every year, when the fantasy season is over, I dearly miss it. Oh shit, it really is crack. I get withdrawals. Dear God. We made too addictive of a sports viewing experience. Good job, America. So you've been warned, but if you would like to get into the crack cocaine of sports, if you get the Sky package for the NFL, RedZone comes with it, and if you can't get Sky where you are, get a VPN, and now you can. But to those who don't like fantasy, or have a crippling gambling addiction, you probably still want a team, a real team, to bandwagon. No shame, no shame. But this video is running way too long, and the season has already started, so I just gotta get this out. So I'll be releasing part 2 of this non-Americans guide to the NFL in about a week or so, in which I go ahead and break down all the best teams that you guys should be bandwagoning this season. But for now, I say gather up the homies, pull your resources together to get RedZone, and start playing fantasy. Or if you have no friends like me, try to get a hold of maybe the Nickelodeon broadcast, and that'll give you a really good basic understanding of the game. But before I go, I've been reading the comments section.
Okay, guys, that was a Clueless European's guide to the NFL. I'm not going to check out part 2 because this video is slightly old, so maybe there's a more recent one for this season that I can do to try and pick out a team for myself. You guys let me know down in the comments what team you think I should support, and give me some recommendations of what sports videos to watch next. The NFL is interesting to me, and I do watch Super Bowls from time to time when they come around each year. I normally fall asleep by halftime though, because these halftime shows just they go on. The one recently with all the biggest actors like Snoop Dogg was there, Eminem was there, 50 Cent, that one was good. The others, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you for the next one. Take it easy. Peace.